He is not Jeff King. He is Alex Manny Mansfield, and this is not another shooting show. We go to Escambia County, Florida, or Escambia County, where a man accidentally shot himself Sunday afternoon near McDavid. According to the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, it happened off Brown Road, off Highway 29, off a lot of things. Escambia deputies were dispatched to Jay Hospital shortly before 5 p.m. They said that the man had a gun in his pocket and it accidentally fired when he reached into his pocket. The bullet struck him in the foot. The man's injuries were not life-threatening. Well, that's one way to go about your day. Hi, Manny. How are you?
I'm good, Andy. How about you?
Good. I'm finer than frog hair. The what? I just had an I bought something at Casey's today, and I just got a notification saying it was denied. Sweet. I got free sweet tarts during work today on break. So Jeff is in Thailand as we're recording this, and we did not have time to work ahead as we usually do, and mostly because I just didn't want to, because we already had Manny booked for this week, and it's like, boom, co-host. And then I got Steven will be on the next one, and then Jeff will be back from Thailand with all his Ladyboy stories. And
there better be Ladyboy stories, or it's not a good trip, and he needs his money back.
Otherwise, why go to Thailand?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Did you see the Italian Job come to life?
No, wait. I didn't see this.
In Italy, there was an armored car heist, shut down a highway in Italy, and armed robbers set off explosives. The video is on our Reddit, r/NASS. And, like, there's this massive explosion on this armored car, for lack of a better term. Like, there's not a lot of actual news coverage. It's a lot of, like, blogs and stuff. Like, Jalapnik is one of the places I found it. Otherwise, it wasn't on any, like, newsy news websites. But this armored car, it exploded. There was a shootout, and it was like the A-team shootout of shootouts. Like, nobody got hit. One bullet hit a vehicle. Otherwise, they just missed with all the bullets, according to the story I found about it. The video is quite amazing.
Yeah, I'll say the explosion is quite amazing. I just got on Reddit and, like, poof. Yeah,
the shootout is sort of, well, there's guys hiding behind cars, and it looks like they have guns, but what's going on? I don't really understand. And then when you try to find news about it, there's not really news about it at all. But according to Wanted in Rome reports, the thieves got away with, quote, a significant haul. Okay. Whatever the hell that means.
It's kind of like the time when they say that 2 guns and, like, 100 rounds of ammunition is an arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah. An arsenal. He had over 100 rounds of ammunition. My last order from what is it? Target Sports USA? Is that the website with the cheap ammo?
I think so.
Yeah. I bought 3,000 rounds. The last order I bought from them. So, okay. Sure. Hundreds of rounds of ammunition. Oh, I'm glad I didn't get myself on the news. Anyway, other news this week that's sort of, well, it's a choice. The Indiana State Police. Did you hear about the Indiana State Police, Manny?
At least according to the Reddit, they have selected the SIG P320 as their next duty handgun.
They have. Somebody posted this article on our Reddit, and I love that I don't even have to prep anymore. People just put prep in our Reddit for us. It's fantastic. Thank you. The department is spending $1.17 million on new handguns and holsters. My favorite quote from the article, though, on policeone.com, from Captain Galaviz, quote, "We did our own independent testing. We did our own independent vetting. We are still confident we are delivering to our personnel a safe product for their day-to-day use."
They must have got them at a really good discount.
Yeah. Have you ever shot with cops, Manny? Like cops who aren't USPSA shooters?
No.
Oh. Oh, it's an experience, especially if you have like a cop-oriented, say, 3-gun match or pistol match. It's interesting, the varying levels of safety that you see, from the personnel. I'm not saying all cops are bad, but no, the safety thing, but they're not as good as we are when it comes to the safety thing.
Yeah, they think, it's fine. I didn't point a gun directly at you. It's okay. Yeah.
We would always have a little forgiveness for the, they're trained to just keep the muzzle down. As long as it's down, it doesn't matter, So if they're moving left to right, there was a guy who was like, his muzzle was straight down at the ground the whole time he's running from left to right. Did he break the 180? Yes. But he didn't do anything unsafe. I wasn't going to DQ a guy who'd never shot a practical shooting match before over that. Plus, it was an outlaw match anyway, so that was completely my prerogative there. But yeah, there was, in this article, I came across a thing I did not know was a thing. Apparently, what was it? New Jersey, their attorney general filed a lawsuit against SIG to halt sales and issue a recall. I hadn't heard that one, but bold move, I guess.
Extremely bold.
But they're the state, so they can we can do whatever we want, and then if we lose, we just paid our lawyers the same money we would have paid them anyway. But anyway, Manny's here for a specific reason. He's running Area 5 this year. We're going to talk about that here in just a moment. But first, patreon.com/notanothershootingshow. It's only $3.57 a month. And Manny's here to bail you out if the only way you have been able to listen to it is on Spotify. You don't have to do it that way. If you like the Apple podcast app, you can listen to it there too on the Patreon. Not just the short version, like the Patreon subscription. Manny, we were going through this before the show. How did you do it?
So, all right, for everyone looking and listening, you go to the Patreon app and you can go in there and you can go to your benefits. So if you're going on the Not Another Shooting Show, you can go to the podcast feeds.
Okay, this is good to know, to learn about my own show. Yeah.
You then click on the Not Another Shooting Show podcast button, and in the top it says Add Podcast App when you hit the 3 dots. If you're on iPhone, the master race of all cell phones. You can fight me, Google Pixel users, or those flippy new Android phones, but you can hit Add Podcast App, and you can select Overcast, Castro, and Apple Podcasts. Or if you're a weird person and have to have your own special app, you can just copy the RSS feed and you'll be fine.
Steven does that. That's how I got it back at way long time ago before they had those direct links. That's how I got the Paracast into my Apple Podcast app. So there you go. If you're a suffering spot, although some people are just like, I love that I can listen to it on Spotify and I didn't have to do anything different. But I literally listen to nothing on Spotify ever, except for weird political podcasts my wife sends me. So there you go. Patreon.com/notanothershootingshow, just $3.57 a month. MW Activewear, the finest jerseys you can get for your match. Find Michelle on Instagram is the best way to get hold of her. MW_AKTIV_wear. WEAR. Northwoods Shootout is May 2nd and 3rd up at Forest Lake. PCSL Belt Championship, May 17th at Mission 160 in Texas. Great Plains section. It says there's 26 slots left. That's not true exactly. There's 18 spots left or something like that because I have fewer squatting slots than I have actual match slots. So there's actually fewer slots left than it says on there. But anyway, June 6th and 7th, registration is open for that. That is my match in Canton, South Dakota. Cornhusker Classic, that one I saw was pretty near sold out. June 27th and 28th. Rushmore State Championship is July 11th and 12th out in Rapid City. Fantastic range out there, and you get to go to the Black Hills. It's super fun. All right. Area 5, when is that happening, Manny?
Area 5 is July 23rd to the 26th, a weekend right after Multi-Gun Nationals, and a weekend right before Area 8. Thanks a lot, Area 8. It'll be fine.
Area 8. So this is your first area match that you're running. Like, are you the man? You're the guy in charge. It's your show. It's your baby. It's your thing to rock out on or completely fuck up?
Luckily enough, myself and my local co-match director, Chris Vasilian, we're tag teaming it. But we've tag teamed the last 2 years of our section match. So, I'm the guy with connections and knows a thing about, getting people to come and being able to be a voice and sell out matches. So we kind of work together. I started the last 2 years ago working with sponsorships and getting people on board. And then finally now we get to take the glory or the blame if everything goes wrong with my name actually on the match. No, but this would be the last two sections I've slightly co-MD'd. And then I've also been on different committees to help run matches at the Cardinal Shooting Center. So I've been dealing with major matches in my short time of running them since 2023. This is my fifth or sixth major match that I can say I've had my elbows deep in since from the beginning to end.
Wow. I would say go sign up for it, but all I can ask you to do is go get waitlisted for it.
Be the 50th person on the wait list.
It's sold out. Where is the match?
The match is at Oak Hill Gun Club in Lyons, Michigan, which is north. Got to remember my geography here because I'm so old now. No, I'm just kidding. Northwest of Lansing, so the state capital, about 30-ish minutes northwest of there.
I'm looking for. I don't see bays on the map. Where? Because does Google screw up where the location is? Because it looks like it's a little rural neighborhood. Oh, I found the bays. Never mind. The pin is just off, or the road is actually a driveway. Oh,
the pin is where the clubhouse is at. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I searched the address because that was what I could see on Practice Score, not the name of the club. So it was a little off, but. Okay, now I see it. So you got how many bays you got to work with there?
Over the fall we added 4 more pistol bays. So we have a total of 16 pistol bays and a extensive trap field and a 300-yard rifle range on the property.
So yeah, that's enough for sure.
And since 2023 we've added that'll be 8 pistol bays we've added due to funding we've had from the club and putting our money back into the club from our major matches. Sure, so we've really improved the place with your support. Without you, the Uncle Sam poster. Without you, this isn't possible. But yeah, so we've been making this the premier destination for all practical shooting in our state, and I can say unheartedly that we are the best USPSA practical match that happens in our state. So,
how long has it been there? Because it sort of looks like. How long have pistol bays been there? Because it looks like they had a few. Like this is just me making shit up as I look at a map, and then it looked like we added some more, and then we added some more, and there's apparently more bays there now than there was when this picture was taken.
So I think practical shooting matches have probably been there for the last. So we had the last section match there was in 2017. It was like 2014. So at least since 2010, there's been USPSA matches at the club. Chris, the guy who started the matches there, he was a match director at another facility before they closed down. So he says he's been match directing for 20 plus years now.
Man, that's a long time to be a match director. You've been a match director for 3 years? Is that what you said?
So when I got into the sport, I jumped in head first. So I got in late 2020. So about 2021, since 2021, I've been involved with a lot of things. But say to be an actual match director, 2023. So yeah, about just over 3 years.
So you've done your podcast for how long? You just started shooting in 2020? You've been doing a podcast for a while, longer than I have.
February 6th of 2022. The only reason I remember the date is because I have a Christmas ornament made with it engraved on there. I've got a whole USPSA Christmas tree. So my family, my mom, she probably puts about 7 Christmas trees up every year. I only have my family tree plus my USPSA tree. But it's also like I've had like ornaments made for like all the major matches I've worked or like taking the logos and then getting them lasered by like companies like Make Stuff Better, and then putting them on my tree. So
fun. Okay, so are you gonna do anything weird, different, abnormal, or in any aspect, whether it's stages or match order or whatever?
So the interesting thing is we're in zones, because this is, I think, the best way, one of the best ways for any range to make it equitable. For balancing your days of shooting. So we're going to do it in two zones, 7-stage zones, because it's a 14-stage match plus chronograph. And we're going to try to have our zones perfectly balanced. And I'm going to make sure there's some short courses for Scott Arnberg, because Scott, every time he sees me at a match that I'm running, he's like, no love for the short course? No short course?
No short course?
Scott loves short courses, and
so
he knows
do
it.
I.
But he's like, every time he's like, what do you guys like, only like 32 round stages? And I'm like, no, it's not the truth, Scott.
No,
I'm doing better about it this year.
It's a shitload of 24 round stages. That's what most matches are. It's fucking shitload of 24 round stages. That's what it is.
But who's designing those stages?
CO shooters.
Yes, exactly. It's 24 to 26 round stages. We've got a very talented young stage designer who's really good he's a GM. He's really good at this stuff. Every stage he sends us is 24 to 26 rounds.
Yeah. It's hard to, whenever I design a stage, it's mostly just, I don't usually have anything in mind when I start. Usually. Occasionally I will. But most of the time I don't have anything in mind. I just start making shapes of a fault line.
Oh, me too.
And it just sort of evolves into a thing. And I'm like, okay, what would make this fun? And what would make this like different than, in the back left corner, there's a wall and a target around it. And on the back right corner, there's a wall and a target on the other side of it. So you have to go to the corner. Like, I hate that anymore. But it just will sort of evolve into whatever it evolves into. And I hate adding targets for the sake of adding targets. I will remove targets if I think, you know what, we don't really need that one there. But most of the time, my stages, when I don't have a round count in mind or anything like that, they usually end up around 18 rounds. Somewhere in that neighborhood, like 18 to 20 rounds. I have to it's a struggle to get to 32.
For me, I always add I would love an option target. So I add a filler target here and there. And I'm like, oh, now we're up to 28 rounds. And I'm like, oh, now I got to edit it back down. And I'm like, so I have the other problem. Why do you have to edit it
back down?
Oh, because sometimes it just doesn't make sense, right? Like you're just like, oh, this target would be nice here. Or there, it's like the options for option's sake is not always a good option.
Right.
It's like, oh, this target would be great here, but I'm going to take it here. I'm staring it right in the face. Why would I not shoot it here?
Unless there's a good reason to take it somewhere else. It's not really an option.
Right, exactly. And then, like I said, options for option's sake is not a good option, which that should be a t-shirt. There you go. I'll give you a t-shirt idea.
Options for options are not options.
Yes.
Options for the sake of options are not options.
But yes. So
or just options on a t-shirt. That's it.
Yep. There you go.
Options.
Well, everyone talks about the stage has a lot of options, and it's at the end of the day, you try doing that, and then you really only make one stage plan.
The stages I have designed that had lots of options was usually an accident. I didn't, or when we were building it, I'll realize, if we change this one thing, all of a sudden now we have decisions to make. Like the stage I'm the proudest of was one of our 50-yard stages at Great Plains. I was literally I was laying in bed the night before our staff shoot going, just thinking about the last stage we built that day was on the 100-yard range. And I'm like, that target's dumb. Like there was one target you had to go all the way into this. It was like a sideways T shooting area. It was just like an alley going forward. And then there was an offshoot going to the left about, I don't know, 16, 24 feet or so. And there was a couple targets you had to shoot from over there. But over on the left side, there was a whole bunch of stuff you could shoot along the left. And then at the very end of the shooting area, you would have one paper target that was going to be like 20, 25 yards away. Or no, it wouldn't have been that far. It would have been probably like 10 or 15. Well, all of a sudden, like, I'm laying in bed the night before, and I'm like, holy fuck. If we just kick that wall out so that you can shoot it from that entire north-south shooting area, now all of a sudden, like, you could skip going to the front completely and save yourself a bunch of movement just by shooting that one target from about 10 yards closer or farther away. And that stage got shot 800, like, there was 180 shooters in the match, and it got shot 180 different ways. Oddly enough, the guy that won the stage went all the way down. That was Nick Walden. I remember that. But lots of other GMs shot it from further back and had, close scores. But I didn't plan that. It was just all of a sudden I figured it out after we built it, and I'm like, oh, if we do this, it'll be really good.
Right, and that's those epiphanies or those the things that you're not intending to be an option where you just like, oh my god, we actually have something here. Mm-hmm. And a big thing that I notice in stages is like people say, oh, there's options here, but your start stick makes no sense for the option that you're trying to provide. Like we've got a stage currently in the match. It's one I designed or I stole from somebody and retweaked it. Because if I find a stage I really like, I'm gonna churn this into something I want. Mm-hmm. So I added some things and I put the start position directly in the middle. It's kind of like a big X shape or a big like a big T, like a lowercase T, but everything's or more like a plus, like a plus sign.
An up-range start. I like it.
Well, no, it's a middle range start. Like so, start in the middle, and you could either.
Are you saying left, right, middle, or north, south, middle, or both?
All of them, all axes.
Okay. So it's, at some point somebody's going to have to run up range.
Right. Run up range. But you could either do it at the beginning or go forward and then retreat. So, but my co-match director, he moved the start stick and I'm like, why? Like, why are we afraid of making people move up range with the gun? Like, we're at a freaking level 3 match. Like, if they can't keep their muzzle down range, that's not my part. That's not my problem in stage design. Like,
no. It's not. We had a little bit of anybody can break the 180 at any time. Just because we're running up range does not make it, especially if you're doing it for a level 3. Now, what we found out at Area 3 last year was we had a bunch of locals who'd never shot a USPSA match before, and because of all the hubbub about the first big event at the new range, they're like, well, I own a pistol. I'm going to go shoot that. And there were a couple of people that had never shot a match before, and their first match was Area 3. And it was not a beginner-friendly match, nor should it be. Like, area matches should not be beginner-friendly matches. They absolutely should not be. And, we had a 270 bay in that match. And when I found out there's guys who are like, literally, it's their first match, I'm like, okay. The guys on that stage, we had good ROs on that stage, so I didn't really worry about it, but it was like, damn, dude, you're that's a bold move.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah. Bold move. I said a lot in the last episode, according to somebody on Reddit, so I'm going to say bold move a lot in this episode.
Oh, there was one of my listeners always makes fun of me. There was a word I kept saying. Now it's not even coming to mind because I'd actually have to think about it. Oh, no bueno. Charles Burnett, if you're listening to this, no bueno.
No bueno.
No, and I had local guys. They came out to Area 3. They all flew out from Michigan, or some of them drove because they're crazy and actually wanted to go visit Mount Rushmore with their family. They all loved it. They loved Area 3. The only thing they hate is South Dakotan wind.
Yeah. No, I hate it too, and I live here. There's a reason we have a shitload of turbines.
Do you rather deal with the wind? If you had to deal with the wind forever, or deal with the snow you've had all winter?
Well, we just wouldn't shoot here. Well, and actually, we haven't had that much snow. We had a busy December, but we haven't had much snow since. There's like no snow on the ground right now, outside of like the big, huge drifts that are in the shade a lot, that are just still hanging around. I mean, it was damn near 60 today, as we're recording this on the 9th.
Aren't you lucky? It was only 30 here.
Yeah. No, we're having a little bit of a warm spell here. I mean, so do you 2 weeks ago, it was fucking below 0, so.
Do you have your hoodie and your shorts on then?
No, but outside at work today, I was just wearing a hoodie and, well, I have to wear pants, but I wouldn't have worn. The wind was we had like a 15 mile an hour wind today, so it wasn't 50 when it's 10 to 15 is like, it's not nothing. Like, there's still a wind chill. So we're still basically back down to 40, 38, 40 with a little bit of wind. So, it's, I would rather have warm weather with wind than snow when it comes to shooting. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like the last match they had down in Omaha was just stupid. I would have not gone to that if that was my home club. If I was the match director there, I wouldn't have gone. There was actual snow on the ground in the bays, and they're building stages in the snow. And no, if there's snow, I'm not building a stage. I'm just not. Unless that was, I would do it though if it was like the theme of the match. You know,
right? Like those people who do those January 1st matches, and they're like, "We're gonna go shoot out in the cold." We actually had a local action steel match. We have a guy who runs that on the second weekend of the month. And they were out, the day before, they were shoveling 8 inches, 9 inches of snow out of the shooting areas so they could put walls and fault lines down. I'm like, no, it's wintertime. I don't have to shoot yet until like March or April.
It's a bold choice. I see Amy 556. They shoot in Alaska in the winter. They shoot steel matches, like action steel. It's basically USPSA, except they do not pull out the cardboard because why? I think the last time I saw one of her posts where she was at a match, it was like 5 below or something like that. But they're way tough. I mean, we're pretty tough to the cold here, but they're way tougher in Alaska. It's not close. I don't think they have the wind problem we do, though. I think that's a huge difference. Like 0 degrees isn't that bad if there's no wind. Really?
Yeah. As soon as you get the wind chill, it's like,
if there's 2 mile an hour wind, if there's a 5 mile an hour wind when it's 0, it sucks. It immediately changes everything. So your match is towards the end of the July. Is the Lower Peninsula of Michigan kind of sticky that time of year, or is it okay?
Last 2 years, we've hosted the sectional, our Michigan section, and it's not been sticky, but it's hot. It's been warm, but it's not been. There's no precipitation. It's just usually there's not been much shade and cloud cover. So like the heat would be fine if you have a breeze and some clouds, but it didn't happen. So it was kind of stagnant heat, but it was decently dry.
And it looks like a bunch of your bays have shelters on them already. So that's good. We keep taking the money out of from the matches. We bought new carports. We bought some new sheds. Bought more steel. Made more poppers, bases. Last year we made 50 new walls, just to revitalize and get rid of all the junky ones. Yeah. The carport idea, I really like what they have in Omaha. Has some that like somebody made that can be picked up with a fork on a skid loader and moved around, or a forklift. But at the same time, like if we put them on the bay permanently, we don't really need that ability. So like the carport idea, someone has to put it together, but nobody has to like make it and weld it and do all that. And like, but I would love to do that at my range because we have no permanent shelters on any of the bays. We have to like bust out the collapsible tents, and in the wind here, it destroys them. So
yeah, it's an absolute nightmare with those kind of tents. Like I even have a nice one, and I had to go and went to Amazon after seeing a buddy of mine have like these. You take your impact driver and you put this bit on it. I think it's like a 14 millimeter bit or socket, and you drive down these augering spikes to then stake your tent, like tarp your tent down. Wow, words and in brain no fiery on all cylinders. Fire. But yeah, so it made a big difference on using my own easy up, portable tents, for like other things around, like when the wife and I are gone camping or something. But no, we buy carports at like our local Menards. I mean, I think they're probably about $1,200 to $1,500 a piece.
I was just Googling, Home Depot sells them for $500 to $800. I don't know if
buy some nice ones then. I don't know, because I don't pick them up. I don't have to deliver them. I don't have to build them.
Right.
I'm lucky that way. Someone's like, I'll go build them over the weekend. I'm like, thank you.
Well, and these look like they're just basically furniture you need a ladder for. Like when you buy furniture at Walmart or whatever.
Like IKEA?
IKEA. We don't have an IKEA here. There's one in Minneapolis. I think that's the closest one. I've never bought anything at IKEA. But I mean, like, you can buy hell, I bought furniture at a furniture store. We got a behind the couch table with bar stools, and the stools are dog shit, but the table's awesome. And I didn't know those were a thing. And we saw that in the store. I was like, what the fuck is this table? It's like a super undersized bar height table, but it's not big enough to be a dining room table. And then I see, oh, it's behind the couch. Oh, I like that. We bought it like that day, along with the couch we ended up buying. But
so do you watch TV? Like, do you sit at the table and then watch TV over the couch?
Well, basically, if I'm eating something, like the kids have used it more than any of us, they'll sit and eat whatever they're eating instead of sitting on the couch and get our old couches. We can't wait to get rid of them, so I don't really give a shit if they mess them up. But it gives them a place to sit and eat where they're on a table instead of like on the couch. And so if they're watching TV, which usually it's really the only thing they watch on the TV is Stranger Things over and over and over again. My boys are obsessed with it. They just keep repeating it over and over. It was really good, but I'm kind of over it. But no, our couch is supposed to arrive sometime in the next week or so. And man, when you're waiting on that new thing, it's so hard to wait. Whatever it is, like a lot of times it's a gun. Like, oh, I can't wait for my M1 to show up. It's going to take forever because I had to send a cashier's check from the bank because it was just a guy I'm buying it from, not a gun store. And then he's got to finally get the check and then wait for it to clear, and then he'll take it to his FFL. Oh, the FFL is closed on Monday. He's going to take it down there Tuesday, and then I got to wait another how many days for it to get there. And yeah. Okay. So you've got people helping with stages. How many different stage designers do you have for your match?
3 right now. Myself, my co-match director Chris, and our friend Skylar, who is our 24 to 26 round stage designer.
Do you guys like send them back and forth and like critique them?
So yeah, for the most part we do. So we're very fortunate. Skylar will send us a massive link or list or print out files of his practice sim stages that he wants to send to us. And then Chris will kind of like proofread them. And then I'm like the guy who looks at, after Chris like picks some stages for like the match, I'm like, I don't like this, or that. I'm the guy who's like poo-pooing everything at that point after it's gone through like one level of review. But I think that's what's needed too. So it's not all the same flavor. And
not
that's
even just
one of those
poo-pooing, but tweak it.
Right.
That 270 stage that Bruce came up with for Area 3 last year, we went back and forth, I don't know how many times. He'd do an edit, and then I would send him V4, and then he'd send back V5, and then I'd send back V6. Like, it was over and over and over again, and it eventually got dialed in pretty damn good. And that we did that with a lot of the stages. I think it's just super helpful that you can send this very teeny tiny little file over email, and it isn't some massive graphic thing. It's they're literally they're under 100K. I think every file I've ever sent is under 100K, and send it off, and then they tweak it, send it back, tweak it back. It's so handy.
I wish in practice sim there was a way just to be like a live drive, right? So say you build like a folder or a match, and you can just be it gives somebody access to edit it, right? So you can be like, all right, here are our stages. You can add comments directly, so you're not having to send versions.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to lose the good version.
This is true.
That's why I don't care if that's a thing, because if Bruce's version 5 sucks, I'm gonna be like, no, we're not doing that. And you moved a whole bunch of shit. What the hell are you doing? Then you lose it, sort of. But that's why I kind of like just doing the, I think on that stage we actually got to the point where it was like we had version 1 and then we had version 2.1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it's super important, I think, to have a bunch of different people designing stages. It really is. Just to make it a different flavor. And honestly, even getting a flavor from outside your area, I don't mean like your USPSA area, but like your club area, because area, like little regions tend to be sort of similar and the flavor is sort of the same, or match directors are sort of the same. Like if I go to a match, I mean, I'm not throwing any shade here, Tim, but I can smell out a Tanfo Timmy stage because he's definitely got a flavor. Stage designers have a flavor, and I love his flavor. I still need to hit him up for a stage for Great Plains this year. But, like, I definitely want one or two of his stages in my match every year, every single time, because he's got good flavor. I like Tim's flavor.
It's green and Tanfo-ish.
And orangey.
Yeah.
Green and orange, like his stickers.
And pallety, lots of pallets.
So you're doing that. Are you doing the whole like, oh, we have a prize table and we're doing all that nonsense and shit? And how are you dealing with it?
So the last 2 years we've done this, is I call it Secret Santa. The match, like last 2 years, my buddy Chris has gone around after we've done the staff prizes at the staff dinner. Like we've you cherry pick those for the staff because, without them, you can't have a match. I mean, without paying competitors, you don't have a match either because there's no cash flow to bring in. So there's this weird ebb and flow as I have in my own brain about this. But you make sure you take care of the people who volunteer, who've helped set up. They're the ones slogging it, doing 10, 15 miles a day, working their stages. So you take care of them. But then we have the Secret Santa where, at some point, the guys will be running around on the golf cart. And they do random lottery at a stage just to catch all the squads. I mean, it's not like I saw at Area 3 last year, you had a spot where you were doing that. I don't know if it was you or Bruce.
No, it wasn't me. It was Dan was our prize guy.
Oh, so you suckered a guy into do it for. Okay.
He volunteered because he couldn't move around really well, and he volunteered for it. And thank you, Dan. I love you.
Right. And it's the unsung hero of the prize table.
Yes. Absolutely.
So I think we're going to try to do. We might do that idea. I've got to run it by my buddy Chris, because I might have a great idea, but then I've got to explain the great idea. It's not that he doesn't trust me. It's also one of those things like he's got to process it in his brain. And same for me. If he's got an idea for me, it doesn't always click at the first drive, and it's like, what are you trying to get at? Because I'm always thinking, where are we going with this? But no, I like that idea of also being able to sit down and have somebody sit down, because doesn't even have to be the match director, because the match director is always doing something.
Yeah. No, and actually the thing, Bruce did a really smart thing with Area 3 last year. He did not shoot on staff day. He shot with the first schedule of regular shooters.
So the Friday, Saturday flight?
No, I shot Thursday, Friday. He shot Friday, Saturday. So that way, one of the match directors was available for all of that instead of none of us being available during staff match. And
it's such a burden. It's such a pain it's such a burden too if you're both shooting at the same time.
Yeah, and I didn't like it when he said he was doing that. I did not like the idea. I'm like, no, like staff match is staff match. We're gonna get called away. It's just how it is. Like we're gonna be on this massive fucking range. And we both are going to need to be able to run around in the golf carts. And as it turned out, that was true. But at the same time, if, the wind really hit hard that, I think it was Friday afternoon, like after the staff match ended, that afternoon is when the wind picked up and just started breaking shit. And if just his one more body was available, it wouldn't have made that big a difference. Like everything was getting fixed because of everybody else. That was we had a really big fix-it crew, thankfully. And just a bunch of people, just mostly because it was a brand new range and people are excited about it and they just want to be involved with it. We had so many people out there like I've never had at my match ever and probably never will. It was really, really great. But no, that idea was fantastic to like, why have both your match directors shoot at the same time? That's really dumb. Split them up. Why not?
Right.
Then I can shoot with whoever, and he got to shoot with some buddies from out of town, and yeah, it was great.
Right, and I'm very lucky because I don't think I was going to shoot the match, Area 5 this year. until Chris is like, well, I'm going to shoot staff match with my friends. I mean, they're all our friends, but he's going to shoot staff match, and I'm going to shoot, surprisingly, the last flight of the match, which was like, I don't think I should do that. And luckily enough, he's like, nah, just do it. We'll be fine. I'm like, okay.
As long as somebody's prepared to, I mean, are you guys doing like, you're not doing prize table or awards after the match, are you?
No, because in reality, people bitch about not having that, but
everybody wants to leave right away.
Right. It's like you get done with a match at a 1-day match, and people are gone immediately. It's like, oh, even though we had awards planned, no one's here. Or it's the four Canadians for us who are like, well, we can't leave yet because we still got to rivet our mags back together. I love my Canadians, and it's the rivet party, and every time I see them, it's like, is it time yet? And they're like, no, not yet. 20 more minutes. I'm like, all right, I'll be back. And then I'm like, rivet party.
Oh God!
But dude, it's funny because they're the bougie ones. They drive a Tesla, and they have a electric Milwaukee riveter. And I'm like, you guys are bougie. Like, it's not even the crappy rivet guns anymore.
Like we have one of those at work we use for putting up delineator crystals and small signs. Like and that tool is not cheap. Like that Milwaukee rivet gun is fucking expensive. I think it's like $300-$400 or something like that. It's not a cheap little thing. And they just have it to put their magazines back together to be compliant when they go back to Canada. Wow. So you're kind of doing it the way we did it. I think that's the best way to do it. Next year for Great Plains, I dislike dealing with the prize table, and I mean, I'm thankful we have sponsors that want to give stuff away, but at the same time, I don't want to deal with running around and asking them all for it. It's not fun. It's a pain in the ass. And I know that sounds bad, but I end up just supplementing the prize table at Great Plains every year anyway. So with money from the match. So if I just don't have a prize table, I can lower the price of the match by a fair bit, Right. And so lower it and on top of it, give more money to the staff. So I mean, prizes are cool, but like Randy Moss said back in the day, straight cash, homie. I'm good with that. Just hand me some more cash. I'm good with that. I don't need another Boss holster hanger.
Yeah, well, and especially when you get sponsors that you have to buy things from, right? Like Double
Those
Alpha.
aren't sponsors.
No, they're just, hey, we'll give you a slight discount. Which
that's not a sponsor.
That's
a fucking
money.
Coupon. When I worked in radio, they would try to give away coupons. I'm like, no, we're not giving away a coupon. First off, we can't. That constitutes a lottery because now they have to buy something to get the thing that we gave away. Like, that's a lottery. We can't do that. So it's either a dollar amount or it's nothing. That's it.
Yep.
And I made the mistake the first year I didn't even try to have a prize table because it was very last minute when we ended up with Great Plains. We ended up with a couple of sponsors, but not a bunch. But the thing I did not do that I wish I had done was, if you're going to sponsor the match, you will give away a minimum amount in your certificate of blank dollars. Because there's some companies that are like, oh, we don't sell anything that costs under $700. Here's a $50 gift certificate.
That's like a slap in the face.
Get the fuck out of here. Okay? Yeah. Like a $50 gift certificate for a suppressor company? No. No. That's a coupon. That's not a prize. So, I get they're trying to get the most they can out of the deal, but come on. If you went to a match and there's no prize table, do you care?
No. I mean, most matches, I'll say this. I've shot more matches as staff and worked them than I have shot as a competitor. I can probably put all matches that I've shot as a competitor on my hand, right?
Oh, okay.
I might shoot open, but I'm not one who can go dump all the money on the weekend trip, right? For me, it's like, well, if everything, my wife's with...
You should just shoot carry optics, then you can.
No, it still wouldn't work out that way. But no, the wife comes along, right? So there's always, it's not, if it's one match for me, it's two matches, right? It's not I'm not one to well, you can come and hang out and not shoot the match. I'm like, hell no, I want you to shoot the match. So Yeah, so I work most of my matches, so there's always some staff compensation, right?
Yeah.
If it's, and usually up here in Area 5, like if we cover half your hotel if you're bunking with so if you bunk with somebody, you don't owe me anything for the hotel. But if you get your own single room, we cover half your hotel. And typically we'll take care of all your meals while you're there, except your dinner. Like obviously if it's not the staff, though, the planned staff dinner, you're on your own for that. But breakfast and lunches are covered, and all the snacks and crap you want to eat.
We're we hand out $100 bill to everybody every year.
But are most of your people local, or do you?
Most of them are local. There are some that we have a few from Omaha that come up. But I mean, I work Cornhusker and they give me $80 every time I go to it. So, I mean,
and I don't know if it's an Area 5 thing. Seems like people have to travel from farther away. We might have, out of my 81 staff, that includes myself and my other match director, probably only 20 are local, and the rest are externals that are coming from across the state or out of state. Now, I've done a little bit of recruiting to get some of these ROs because I know they're high quality officials.
Yeah.
And no one really bats an eye typically at our package. But it's not like the North Carolina match where they're getting like $350 or $400 for their 3 days, and that's it. And you might get a t-shirt.
Yeah. There's I guess I don't want to bring this up because I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I'm thinking of renting a thing for Great Plains this year because there's an interesting thing in Canton that is pretty, just because it's in a small town with not a lot of attraction around it. This pretty cool venue is pretty reasonably priced, and it would be a cool place to have stuff for staff, and even just let some of the staff stay there. But I don't know if we'll do it or not. I'll have to get board approval for that because I don't know if I might be able to work it into the match budget. Maybe. Because if it's in the match budget, I don't need to get the board approval, but not that that's terribly hard because I'm on the board, so.
Isn't it nice being on the board of your gun club? Isn't it great?
Oh, dude. Especially when, it was the best because I was also the treasurer for a long time, and I still have a debit card because they let me keep the debit card because I still have to buy stuff for USPSA at the club, and occasionally a tool or something, something else that the club needs, but I barely use the debit card. Oh, and also I take care of the website, so sometimes I need to buy stuff for that. But
I'm my club secretary. It's great.
I'm the secretary now, and it is if you're at a club, you need to, and you're struggling, you're fighting with the board of the gun club that your club is at. If your club's not cool with USPSA and they help take care of it, and you have to be this separate entity that's renting space, you got to get people on that board.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You have got to, some people have got to bite the bullet and take one for the team and get on that board. And at the other USPSA club here near Sioux Falls, the guy that runs that club, actually, he managed to wind up president of that club where they pay $10 a shooter for every match, no matter what they do. So their rent is a little bit steep. They used to be $15 matches. That was back when they were paying $5 per shooter. And then they went to $20. And 20 still seemed reasonable. And then when they went to 25, it was just God, this feels way more expensive. But, the cost of everything went up. So,
right.
But, okay. So Area 5 is in late July out in Michigan. It's sold out. You can get on the wait list. But I also want to talk about things that are not matches. And because there's some people who do not give a shit about match planning. They just shoot matches. And unless we're talking about stages and technical and how many. Oh, are you using both styles of targets, or are you just using one?
No, we're using both. We have not adopted the Scott Armbird plan of only using IPSC targets because they look like turtles. No, but we use both. It's just because we mix it up a little bit. I think an IPSC target adds a little more level of accuracy based shooting.
For sure.
So it adds another test.
I've always used both for Great Plains, but it's a smaller match for Area 3. Bruce and I were both on the same page immediately. Like, nope, we're going all IPSC, because when you have that many targets and that much shit, it's one less hassle to deal with. Of
right.
How many of each type do we do? Then it can actually affect stage design. Well, how many targets are on the USPSA stage? How many are on the IPSC stage? I just didn't want to deal with it. They were just all the same thing.
Well, especially, and if you're buying like waterproof targets, it's so much easier to be like, I want waterproofs of this. Yep.
We're just going to buy a shitload of one thing. And I've never bought the pre-hardcover targets because
I have.
Depending on which the work you save?
If you're only going to make a certain type, I would say so. Now, if you're going to make wonky shapes, it might make more sense to build them yourselves. But I think it saves a little bit of time. Like, we've bought them the last couple of years. You do need to check them, like especially on the tuxedos. Nothing against the CHL who we get them from. And it costs. Oh no! I got to put a little bit of black tape that I was going to put on the target anyway if I had to make it myself.
Quite to the perf,
right? Or it's this one's over the line. I have to throw it away. Because at IPSC Nationals last year that I was involved with, they had targets that these are all consistently over the line, so we're going to use these on this stage. And I'm like, oh, fuck that! Throw those in the pile for the local match that I don't care about. Like, just use and fix the ones that are not close with the tape, right? Like, the tape is cheap. You buy it and you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I should say the black masking tape, don't use black fucking duct tape.
No, I finally got smart, and I saw black masking tape at a match. I'm like, why didn't I ever search for that on Amazon? And then I went to Amazon and I bought 20 rolls of the shit.
Mm-hmm. Because you're never going to need it again.
Well, we will eventually, but I won't need it for a couple of years. But it's so much better than duct tape. Because if you fuck up with duct tape, you can fuck up the target.
Oh, yeah.
And with masking tape, I missed. I just pull it back a little bit. All is well. But, okay. I want to talk about other things, though, that aren't just, matches and match design. You're an open shooter, and you've only ever shot open, right?
I did start in carry optics for the first 2 seasons. I jumped into open in early 2023, so barely in the sport 2 years, and then jumped into open.
You immediately went to Bougie Open and had to start loading Major 9.
Well, I loaded ammo before I even started in the sport. So thank you, COVID check. You bought my Dillon XL750 for me. Thank you very much. And then I was like, I have no more money right now to buy components, so it will just sit here.
Yeah, there's that. So I want you. So you're an open shooter, like hardcore open shooter. It's the only thing you shoot. And Jeff and I are both of the opinion that 20, whether it's an open gun, I mean, open guns are open guns, but regardless, 2011s, there is a sect of the USPSA community that thinks 2011s are the end-all, be-all of firearms, and anyone else who thinks anything differently is wrong. Jeff and I both disagree with this notion. Make the case for me, though. You're a 2011 shooter. What makes them better?
I don't know if it makes them better, but the fact is you have that, that John Moses Browning straight pullback trigger, just like a 1911. You have a less option to disrupt the sights like on a Fulcrum trigger, like on a Glock or an M&P or a Shadow 2. They are a little chunkier, which could be good in your hands or not, depending on what size hands you have. I've never felt them to be 2x4-ish like some people say. The angle, depending on the grip module you have, could be more like a 1911, more like a Shadow 2. They're built rock solid. Now, especially if you're using good high quality parts from the same manufacturer, fitting them can be super easy. You could build your own fairly easily. I wouldn't say build your own open gun off the rip, but you could build a limited optics gun fairly well. I like 2011s, but I started with Glocks, and that was the most strangest thing, going from a Glock to an open gun.
That is
purely from grip angle alone.
Is the grip angle really that different? Because I've shot 1911s, 2011s, CZs, Glocks. To me, those are all kind of in the same ballpark. It's not until you get to like SIG and Canik and Beretta where you're actually in something that's totally different.
Right, and I think maybe it's more of a height over bore issue than a grip angle issue from going from a Glock to an open gun because of the
you're
frame
shooting
mount.
a fucking open gun with the optic on a mount that is not on the slide versus something that was on the slide.
Right. So, yeah, I think if it was a 2011, like a limited optic setup, it's not too big of a difference. But
I mean, I can go from my Glocks to my CZs really quickly. It's not an issue. I've been dry firing with Glocks here to start my off season or my preseason. And I've also been messing with my Beretta, and holy shit, are those really different. I mean, one grip is like a 45-degree angle, and the other one is straight up and down. At least that's what it feels like when you go between the two. And I've given up on the Beretta. I'm just going to shoot Glock during my my preseason iron sight side quest that I'm going to do.
But you also teach most of your permit classes and your other classes with a Glock anyway. So
yeah, I've never stopped shooting Glocks. It's always been a part of what I've been shooting, even when I've been competing with CZs the last couple of years. I've still shot Glocks the whole time, and honestly, there's not a huge difference between the two. It's not even so much like the grip angle as it is just like you said, the height over bore is a little different. But all of the guns I shoot are either SROs or 507 comps, so it doesn't really matter. Like I can literally switch between the two, and it doesn't matter.
You probably reload a Glock easier though because the Shadow 2 hole is absolutely bullshit.
Dude, I had not done like a 6 reload 6 like dry fire drill with an iron sight gun in eons. Okay. First the February 2nd was the first day I dry fired in 2026. And I'm doing it with my Glock 34 with iron sights. And I set the part time to 3.5 because that's what the Steve Anderson baseline was, in refinement and repetition. That's sort of like, if I can do it in under that, like, yep, I'm good. And very first rip out of the holster and everything, I shot the 6. Now, I'm not going to claim, like, the sights were on the A-zone for every single shot, but, like, I had time to spare on the part time. Accuracy was probably not great, but I smoked the reload. Absolutely fucking smoked it. And yeah, I can reload a Glock easier than I can reload a Gen 5 or 6 Glock easier than my Tac Sport Orange. And it has a magwell. So, yeah, Glocks are pretty easy for me to reload.
Right. So do you find that does the magwell get in the way for you? I mean, I've had this conundrum of like, the magwell versus non-magwell doesn't really matter much when it comes to reloading. I mean, other than if you can, as long as the mag doesn't fall out when you put the gun back to vertical, right, or back to a firing position.
Yeah. And my biggest issue getting it back up is that if I don't bring the gun in, I've realized I don't really necessarily need to bring the gun low when I reload. I just need to bring it in close to my body. Because if I bring it in close to my body, that gives me time to re-grip, and then by the time my sights or optic are back up, I'm done re-gripping the pistol, and I don't move it all over the place. It's been really interesting. I was trying to save most of this iron sight conversation for when I have Steven on in the next episode, because he's going to crucify me for it. But it's been interesting how much more I'm actually seeing with iron sights than I used to. Because I haven't shot iron sights in years. And now part of it is I'm actually, the glasses I'm wearing right now they're my computer glasses because I'm fucking old and I can't see things that are up close anymore. I literally have my bifocal prescription in these glasses for the entire lens. And I use them on my computer or if I'm working on a project and I need to see things up close. And I've been dry firing with these and I've been able to see. I'm still shooting target focus, but I can really see what's happening with those iron sights. And if I have as long as I'm in outdoor light, I can still see the irons okay, but like indoors dry firing, I can't see shit with my regular distant prescription. So it's been fascinating to see like, if your vision is good with iron sights, you can see a lot. Like a lot. But I haven't shot. I'm going to take these to the range and shoot them at actual distant cardboard targets at like 15 to 20 yards and see, okay, is the plus 1.5 an issue when it comes to like, am I actually aiming at what I think I'm aiming at? Or is the blur on that downrange going to be so bad, like it'll be a problem? I don't know. But that's what Zenny Optical is for, because then I can get a really cheap pair of dual lens glasses. Like I'll have the up close for my dominant eye and the far away for my non-dominant eye. It'll be like shooting carry optics again.
That it will.
Mm-hmm. That's so nerdy. I'll have like Jerry Michelin glasses. It'll be awesome.
You don't have Coke bottles yet, though. You'll be fine.
Well, the left lens will be a Coke. Well, it'll be Coke-ish. I mean, I'm only a 1.5. It's not that bad, but yeah. My eyes weren't terrible to begin with. I just have astigmatism that, turns everything into weird shapes. Okay. So, you made a case for the 2011. I'll buy it. I don't necessarily. We kind of went off on a tangent.
But in reality, I don't think that I agree with you guys, though. I'm not like 2011s are the best because that's what you all should shoot. I mean, I like shooting a 2011, but I agree. After you get past, I don't even even if you get past the double action, single action, the double action pull on a CZ, it's the same.
It's not a huge difference,
right?
No.
It's more about your comfortability with your platform and your shooting skill than the pistols, right?
100%.
Like you take Isaac Lockwood, who was shooting a SIG until most of the ranges around him shit canned to them, and now he's shooting a 2011. Isaac is still a good shooter. The 2011, did it make him better? No, he already was wicked fast.
Yeah,
and could do bill drills like crazy. Now, did you give him a little bit better trigger? No, what? Now is he doing 0.9, 0.8 splits? 0.09 or 0.08 splits on a bill drill? Probably. But at the end of the day, it's the skill level, not the equipment. So
100%. The thing that's been fun with, I've been just mostly messing with. I have kind of a lot of Glocks, and I'm not a Glock fanboy. I just sort of ended up with a bunch of them, partially because I teach, partially because I compete. Like I got a pair of 34s. That's because I compete. I've got a 19, and I also have a 35 that has not seen the light of day in a very, very long time. Actually, my backup gun is going to be my Gen 4 34, and the slide off of my 35 will be my backup production gun on my side quest. Because the 35, because I've got a conversion barrel for that slide. So, where was I going with that? Oh, I've just ended up with Glocks, and then the 10 millimeter, and then I've got a 19 as well. And I think, is that all of them? Oh, and then I have another 17 that's like I built the slide out of like Brownell's parts and then just bought a Gen 4 lower for it. I've just been shooting them a lot lately, and was actually showing my brother he just got into Cerakoting, and he's going to get an FFL so he can Cerakote guns. Like, he's been a gun guy forever, but he doesn't shoot nearly as much as I do, and he did most of his shooting in his much younger years. And so I was showing him, like, he's like, well, if somebody sends me a slide, I'm not taking it apart. I'm like, dude, it's so fucking easy. I'm like, here, I'll do it. And so he pulled out his Glock 17, and I took the slide apart, everything except the firing pin channel insert, and he's like, oh, okay. But what if I lose parts? Buy a bunch of upper parts kits for it,
Rule number 1, don't lose parts.
Well, okay. It's easy to not lose parts on a Glock, but then as soon as I own a Beretta or a CZ, then all of a sudden springs start going to Jesus. And I'm guessing 2011s are probably the same way.
Oh, a little bit. Did you ever find all those parts you lost when you moved?
Yes, I did. When I moved rooms, I found like 2 or 3 Beretta trigger springs that I thought had just gone somewhere, and then I also found a CZ trigger. They were all trigger springs that went flying. Pretty much everything else I was able to re-find immediately, but those trigger springs are so small, like I just didn't even try. Like I'll find them when we move out someday. And so yeah, I I did find them when I moved rooms, but I really need to. I'm the guy who needs a bubble. Like when I disassemble guns, I should be in like a zip up bubble of some kind. So like it's in here. It's somewhere in this little bubble. And or I put it inside like the like the sandblaster things. My brother just bought one of these for his business. Like I should disassemble guns in that little chamber. And then that way, well, the trigger spring is somewhere in here.
Right. Yeah, as long as you had your dexterity with your real hands and not through the gloves.
Yeah. No, I mean like remove the gloves because I don't need the gloves. Like, I'm sure my arms are chubby enough I can, fill the holes with that. Okay. This is actually a topic Jeff had written in somewhere. Like our rundown is 15 pages long of topics that have been thought of and never used. And one of them I came across was and you're the guy to ask this question who's ever been on the show. Where do you sell an open gun? Like you have open guns, they're used, you want to get rid of old ones or you're getting out of open. How do you even sell an open gun?
Ooh, that's
a really niche market.
Extremely. Now, that's hard. Like I see a lot of people trying to sell them like via Facebook picture group exchanges, like 2011 picture exchange, and it's somebody trying to like sell them. It's kind of like you got to take them to a match and try to sell them that way. I find local people to me have had good luck selling them. If somebody who's like open curious, like, and then you can be like, well, I've got this one, you can borrow it. Like my backup gun is with a buddy this winter. Like I'm like, here, I don't need it. I have my main gun. My main gun is solid. It's winter. I don't care. You can borrow the backup. And he's been shooting it and he's enjoying it for the most part. I don't think I'm not selling my backup gun because it's laser engraved with, my name and stuff on my logos on it. So it's right. Like, it's really like, I can't get rid of this ever. It's going to sit in my safe, even if it doesn't match my primary gun. But I see people trying to do it on Facebook, but it's one of those things you just kind of sell it to a guy at the range and hopefully you don't get too much loss on it. Like, especially if you have more open guns, you don't ever sell the magazines with them.
Right.
Like you just keep them.
Or maybe you sell one or two with them. So the guy like has something.
Right. Say you get out of open and you go to Limited Optics and you buy a slide ride gun. You sell off the big sticks and keep the short ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. That's actually a really smart idea because when I've seen that happen with other guns, not open guns, but somebody's curious about whatever, and then the guy who has like all the guns, and I mean every club has this guy. He shows up with a different gun every week. He's probably a pretty good shooter. He'd be even better if he just stuck with one gun, at least for a season, But
yes,
and the friend of mine who is this guy probably knows he's the one I'm thinking of as I'm talking about this.
This isn't the guy who sold his stuff to go boating, right?
No, that's a different guy.
Okay.
No, that was Nick. The first podcast he ever heard was the one he was on, and that's it. And he's never heard another podcast since. But no, he sold his bass boat and then bought night vision. I think he's the only guy we had. I don't know. The Kansas City guys might have had binocular night vision, but most of the guys that have night vision at our night match just have like a monocle, and he actually has like the binocular PVS, whatever the fuck it is, and so he's walking around with that on all night. It's just he just looks like such an operator, No, it's a different guy, and it's also not the guy who I said would. And that guy did text me and say, "I heard you talking about me." When I said, "There's a guy I know locally to me who's." If he dry fired at all, he'd be really fucking good. But he just refuses to dry fire. And he texted me and said, "Yeah, I heard you talking about me." And then I replied and said, "Wouldn't it have been fucking hilarious if somebody else texted me about that?"
That would have been.
Oh, shit. Okay, so, Manny, you are a podcaster, commentator yourself. But you were smart enough to never run for a board position in USPSA. So What would you change right now? Let's just keep it simple, rules-wise, with USPSA. Because we were talking before we started recording that you had watched the last board meeting just because the rules audit was in there. What would you change rules-wise in USPSA?
1.1.5.5.
Oh, Jesus, of course. You're going to bust out a rule number, and now I got to look
So
it
this
up.
is the rule about staying inside the shooting area.
Oh, great topic. Okay, what is your thought?
Put it back to level 1 only. My opinion on this is our sport is dictated by freestyle. You have now taken away, and I don't like the argument Dan and some of them used about, well, you still get to choose. No. You have dictated I stay in this stupid box or this shooting area, and I can't ever leave it or I get penalized, right? So I would prefer 1.1.5.5, the rule about having to being dictated to stay inside the shooting area, go back to level 1 matches only. Because also Ian made great points during that live board meeting was it's kind of one of those things that needs to be consistent overall, because it's really weird if you use one stage and then the rest, or you sprinkle it every other stage, you're not going to get any form of consistency, and especially the matches, your club matches are going to dictate how you perceive the sport, right? So if you go to this one club that always does it like that every stage is you must stay within inside the fault lines, that's what you're going to think the sport is about. And you're kind of limiting yourself on options and stage planning, and you lose that atmosphere of solve your own puzzle. We become IDPA at that point. So I say go back to, revert it back. Don't let it change. Keep that to only a level 1 optional rule.
When Ian said that, I 100% agreed that the only strong argument for this, against the change, in my opinion, was what Ian said about, it switches off on stages, but it is in the written stage brief. Okay. There are lots of things that can end up in a written stage brief that are not the same stage to stage. Okay. Mags start on tables, strong hand, weak hand. It's not the only thing that's going to be there. Now, one of the arguments I heard during the board meeting was, well, all you got to do is throw another couple of walls out there. Okay, we're building a level 3 area match for the first time in Rapid City, South Dakota, and we're out of fucking walls. And I hate when I see walls in a match that are only there, and you can see it from a mile away. The only reason these 5 walls are here is to keep someone from running out the back of the stage and then coming back in on the other side.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the ones that make a wall. Yeah.
To prevent one movement. That's stupid. Okay? It's really, really stupid. And now, the thing I will rebut that you said was about how we've removed freestyle from it. In what way? How are you not able to solve the problem your way? We're not dictating the order in which you shoot the targets.
No, you are not.
We're just maybe taking away your ability to cut across a little bit of dirt.
Right. Yes, you are. But at some point in the day, it could. Now, is that going to win you the stage? Probably. Being able to run outside, probably not, because you're not able to shoot outside the shooting area.
Everybody else is going to have to do the exact same thing.
Right. So it's the perceived options. There we go. Options again.
Options.
Technically.
Okay. Actually.
There you go.
There's another one-word T-shirt. Yeah. I just need to update more T-shirts, and nobody buys T-shirts though. A handful
Stickers.
of people.
Stickers,
a handful of people bought the.
It's fucking Tuesday.
Well, I sold a few of those.
Let it reflect. He's been a master for no time.
Do you want to hear the whole thing? I'll play the whole thing.
He hasn't been a master for any time. Let the record reflect. It's fucking Tuesday.
Yeah, Austin. Let the record reflect. You haven't been although he's shot a few matches as a master though. By the okay, this is I want to keep this tangent very brief. Do we, as a fellow podcaster, do we talk too much about local dudes to us, or is it kind of fun to hear about just local dudes to us that you don't really know, but you sort of learn about them peripherally?
I think it still makes us human, because then we're actually having human interactions with people. So I think getting to know, as a podcaster, getting to know the local people helps your credibility, because who says that local person who knows your show or you talk about them on the show, they feel engaged, part of the community, they go and then tell their friends about it. I think it helps grow your audience kind of organically. I don't know how many times at a local match, dude, I don't know Jimmy from John, and they're like, Manny, I love your show. I'm like, cool, I have no idea. This is the first time I've ever met you, right? Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. It's not a boilerplate. I do appreciate everybody listening to my show, but it's definitely it helps you grow your credibility, I feel, when the local people are talking about you, because you're talking about them.
The dudes who listen to us in Florida or Australia or Texas, like, they don't give a shit about Austin.
No, but he
keeps coming up because he's like the guy who shoots production seriously.
But they also get to know more how you think, right? They get to feel that they're part of the show, right? Like, you and I are having a conversation here, talking a bunch of smack and talking about things we want to talk about. But they can feel like I know that guy. I've heard of him before, right? Like, so I think it's good. I like it.
Okay. No, sometimes I wonder, like, I'll occasionally talk a little too local, but at the same time, I've listened to the Paracast guys for years. I think I found them in like 2018. And all they talk about is Utah. I didn't care. It was, it was almost like this cast of characters who never appear on the show, but I hear about them. And then years later, I end up getting to shoot with Taylor Daggs, and meet him finally, and a couple other guys that were from Utah were on my squad at Race Gun. So,
but it's also the type of shows we have right now. If you were Arik Levy, right? You've heard of him, right?
Oh yeah, no, I've listened to his show.
If Arik Levy did something like that, it would make absolutely no sense for any of his broad topics. You and me talking to Joe Schmo over the internet, I find it totally fine. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why inside jokes are okay too, because we're the little people in the world.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, inside jokes are for the longtime listeners who get them.
Yep.
Like, that's who those are for. And I don't know if we have any, because the recurring jokes we have aren't really inside jokes. They're more of
it's fucking Tuesday
kind of jokes, But anyway, but no, we were talking about what you would change in the freestyle rule. Okay. Did you hear me talk with Jim and Ben last week about leave Carry Optics alone? I was thinking of that person who said, leave Brittany alone, like 20 years ago.
Right.
Is sort of what I was thinking. I didn't actually articulate it that way, but it's what I had in my head. Chris something was that guy's name. Your thoughts on leave Carry Optics alone, let single action in? And Magwell's, I don't give a fuck.
Right. At this point, yeah, you let them in. You can bind them. We don't need any more goddamn divisions, right? People already complain that it's watered down. I already get people complaining about national slots, and I'm kind of fed up with it at this point. I mean, about hearing about only the best shooters should go. But we can get down that tangent in a second because.
Oh, yeah.
But no, Carry Optics, Limited Optics, put them together. Figure out the classification. The board or the rules committee, some nerd. Alex Acosta and your friend, your nerds on the classifier committee can figure it out what to give everybody as a classification in this new division called optics, for fuck's sake, and let whatever in. I don't give a shit. I'm going to shoot open, and I really don't care because only shoot open. I mean, I care about everyone participating in the sport and doing what they want, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You're doing one reload most of the time. The action doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
You add on parts, a slide stop that turns into a thumb rest. Whoop-de-doo. Now the only thing is they're not different. I mean,
they're not that different.
It sucks for the people trying to not sandbag or win a division because now you're going up with 90%. Well, sorry, 80 or 70% of the match at that point, at a major match at that point then. In like if you combine them and put them into one division.
Yeah.
So the guy winning LO now or the guy winning Carry Optics might not win at the end of the day because the better shooter is going to win.
Well, what gave me the idea for that, the topic, if you haven't heard that episode, was I asked Ben the question, this was my idea for a question for Jeff to ask us. Obviously, I'm one of the people who runs the show. And we gave this question to Jim and Ben in advance, was, what is your hot take on USPSA? And my hot take was, leave CO alone. It's the most popular division there has ever been, outside of when Open was the only division. And why are we limited optics and carry optics don't need to be different. We can allow magwells in CO for all I care. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to add one to my guns, but my tac sport will keep a magwell. If it's allowed in CO, cool. But what made me think of this question was the fact that out of all the divisions for Great Plains, as of right now, 78 shooters out of 194 are in CO. 57 were in carry optics, limited optics. So there was a pretty significant drop-off between the two. Now, obviously, it's still really popular. Second most popular by miles. The next closest is Open with 21 shooters. But, and then it's production with 13.
So like Area 5, I'm looking at the data right now. 390 signed up shooters. 144 in carry optics. 140 in limited optics.
Oh, it's a little closer.
But the rest of the match at 106 people make up the rest, and that is mostly an Open division with 65.
Oh, wow.
Nils, you need to not shoot production and just shoot one of the dot guns. You can even shoot PCC for all I care and kick everyone's dick in. I really don't care.
Yeah. How many PCC do you have in Area 5?
The match has 24, but 5 of them are GMs and 5 of them are masters.
The PCC seems to be very regional. It's big in certain regions. It's pretty big in the Twin Cities. It's not as big everywhere else in Area 3, as far as I can tell, but there's a shitload of good PCC shooters in the Twin Cities area.
And I think Area 6 is predominantly where the PCC hangers are out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one good PCC shooter out in Rapid City is from Area 6 originally, so he's the one guy you hear out there going, so I shot this and then I shot that. Sounds like a NASCAR fan. Love you, Ice-T. Okay, now, what was the other topic? You brought up the spicier one.
National slots.
Nationals, yes. You were talking, slots are slots. But you alluded to a thing I never did end up bringing up as a board member just because other shit. The discipline committee kept me so fucking busy I never had time to write a plan for it. But, okay. Well, say what you were going to say because you brought it up first. Before
all right.
I sidetrack
so you've got these shooters, these good shooters, right, who want national slots and believe that nationals should be the best of the best, right? I think we all want the best shooters at nationals. But if we went to a 100% performance-based system, you're not going to have the guys who pay the bills there. You're not going to also, if you give all the slots on performance-based instead of maybe, divvying them out to the sections and letting the sections let the clubs decide who gets them, you're not going to have the guy who works his ass off putting on great local matches ever be able to go to nationals because he might not be the best shooter. Because we know the bills are paid by B and C class shooters.
Uh-huh.
The top guys aren't here. They're the top guys. They're the ones who are going to win, but they're not the ones paying the bills. I mean, and you might have 1 or 2 GMs in your area, and they might come to your match, your local match, but they're not typically the ones setting up walls and fault lines and being the match director.
Usually not.
It's very rare.
Some are, but I happen to know one GM. I know a couple GMs. Tanfo Timmy is the first one that comes to mind. He runs the Forest Lake or the MAPSA club up at Forest Lake, and then Craig Okenfuss he's a GM and runs a club down in Missouri.
But he gained skill but he was already a match director. Those guys were, I would say those guys were match directors before they reached ungodly status of shooting
Craig
a pistol.
was. I don't think Tim was. I think Tim was a GM before he was a match director. I could be wrong about that. But, yeah.
So
but they do exist.
Right. So, and I keep saying these people we want the best of the best shooting. And I'm like, the guys who are the lifeblood of the sport deserve a chance to go to nationals. Let it be the one match a year they go and pay their match entry fee and use their pre-reg slot from their club that they worked their ass off to get. Let them use it.
For nationals as it exists right now, I 1,000% agree with you. I do. I completely agree. I also think USPSA, now that the finances are pretty straightened out and money's good, there's absolutely no reason they couldn't also run an event called the USPSA Championships.
Oh, I agree. I loved that idea when you and Jeff brought that up a couple.
Okay.
Probably been a while. I love the idea.
It's been a while. Yeah.
But do it tangentially with a match you already have on the ground, right? So you do that match.
That's a great idea. I never thought of that. That's a fucking great idea.
So, everyone leaves. We shoot the match. Staff shoots Wednesday, Thursday. Main match is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Have them come back on Monday and Tuesday and run the championship. The championship matches. I mean, you're only there a couple extra days renting the range. Your costs aren't going to be that high. You don't need that many staff to work that championship.
No, you only need enough staff for like 2 or 3 stages tops.
Right.
Because they're just going to float around with them. It'll be more like golf than a regular big USPSA match.
Even let's say you had 9. Say you have like all 9 divisions, right? You have the best of the best. You're shooting every 9. Except
I disagree with that. Like there should be enough. Like L10 and Revolver should not be part of the USPSA championships.
I agree.
There's just not enough activity. It's not worth it. There's not enough heat.
Right.
Open, LO, CO, PCC. Maybe the iron sight shooters will let them all shoot one of the. I don't know. I don't even. Think it needs to be that.
Production and limited can shoot together.
They can shoot limited with the same gun.
Right.
Because they're, let's be honest, production and CO guns are pretty much limited guns at this point.
Yeah. So you do it after a nationals, you have a couple people there. Say you have 8 squads, right? You do the best of the best, the top 24, or you do 20 or 24 of the division, right? Open, CO, LO, PCC, okay, maybe iron sight. So you have 100 people in the match, right? Just think about it like that, right? And they're shooting for the bragging rights of being...
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be that many. 100, I think, is kind of a lot. I mean, it's sort of a harken back to the old days of USPSA. Take the top 16.
Right.
So
you do
like
2 squads.
Based on some... And this was the thing I never had an idea for, was the criteria to select the 16. I mean, there's a few people in every division you can think of like, yep, they should probably be in there.
Right. Well, and then it makes you force the person to pick. Like Christian Seiler could go to any division and be very competitive.
Yeah.
So make him choose one.
Yeah, you have to pick. I mean, there's not a lot of guys like him though where it's just like, yeah, he could literally walk in and win any division.
Right. And I could say you make it a point series based off the area matches, right? But as we know, area matches have been selling out. Major matches have been selling out like crazy.
Yeah.
If you're not on Johnny on the spot, you're not getting in.
And Area 3, a lot of the national heavy hitters that normally would be at Area 3 weren't there because World Shoot was happening at the same time.
Right.
Last year. So, something like that could happen and throw it all off. But whether it's selection-based or point-based or whatever, I don't know. I think there should also be, to the people who think like the best of the best should be there. Yeah. And most of you who are bitching about this wouldn't be there.
Right.
Like, it would actually be the best of the best. Like, in my opinion, 3 divisions, open, LOCO. And LOCO should be 1 division. So really, we're talking like 32 shooters tops is what I think should be, open, and then whatever's left out of LOCO.
Because no offense to PCC, Max Leograndis is still going to beat them all.
We'll just hand Max the trophy and call it a day. And if you have your own practical shooting league, that, I mean, I'm making a joke because he's an awesome fucking shooter, but yeah, I don't think it needs to be that many. It's sort of like like in a PGA tournament, there's however many start the tournament, and then after Friday is over, the first 2 days, a bunch of them get cut. And you either make the cut or you don't. And so now it's been cut down to a whole bunch. Now, for a sport that is, as Ben called it, a hobby, buying hotel for people who are walking away with nothing but a loss financially, I don't think there should be a cut where people are going home early when plane tickets and hotels are involved.
Well, if you think about it too, like someone could have a bad stage. You could come back from someone else having a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Like you're not completely out of it mathematically.
I still think like this championship we're talking about though should be at least over 2 days, maybe 3.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only having sub 40 people there,
so that they can focus for those 5, 6, 7 stages. Like it's a lot easier. I've shot Area 3 when it was in Grand Island all in one day. Every time except once did I shoot it in 2 days. It was so much fucking easier in 2 days. Like, especially when the weather is super hot and humid and awful, it's really hard to focus on that second half of the match. But when you do it over 2 days and you can spend half the day in the air conditioning, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
Yep, your mental stress is gone down.
And one of those days was in the morning when it was cool. So it's like it should definitely be multi-day. USPSA can afford to just like if it's an invite, like you've claimed the invite, okay. Here's where it gets sticky, like logistically. How do we make sure they show up? Well, like my friend with the bass boat who sold it for Night Vision, he made the Three Gun Nation TV show. One of the last couple of years that they had it. He had to write a check and they cashed it. And it was like $2,600 or something like that to guarantee he would show up for it. And then when he showed up, he got all of the money back. I don't know if that would be necessary, but it could be. I don't know. There would have to be some alternates or some system to. But no, I absolutely think USPSA has the money and the ability to run such a match. I think your idea to do it adjacent to a nationals is a great idea. But then the only thing I don't like about that is then it sort of lessens the nationals in a way. Like nationals would be like the US Open. It's literally open to everybody. But the Masters is not open to everybody. These are two. I'm alluding to golf a lot here, but I think it makes the most sense. Like I can literally qualify for the U.S. Open if I go to whatever qualifying tournament they have here in South Dakota. I think there is one in Sioux Falls every year. I go play that tournament. If I'm good enough, then I move on to the next thing and the next thing, and then I get to play in the U.S. Open as like one of the amateurs. And if I make the cut, I make the cut. It's 100% meritorious. But that would be like nationals and USPSA as they are now. It's open to everybody, except in USPSA, it's just if you have enough money and you're lucky enough to buy the ticket in time. But the championships should be invite only and keep it exclusive. And USPSA's got the money to do it.
Right. And I say you attach it to a nationals adjacent to a nationals because then you can have spectators, right? Like if it's just
now you're bringing me back the other way, yeah.
Because it's silly to do it. Okay, if you do it say Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday after nationals, who's going to be there other than the ROs and the shooters? Like
nobody.
That's why you got to do it adjacent to nationals because no one's going to travel to a secret match to just watch when it's
they're not. They're absolutely not. But they will watch online.
Yes.
Like if you get some people that know their shit. To do it, and whenever the whole streaming thing gets talked about, like God bless all the guys that have done it so far, and I'm thankful they do it, but every one of them I've seen so far is kind of boring. It really is.
Our sport is boring to watch online.
It's boring to watch in and of itself. Like I don't enjoy watching match videos. I enjoy watching my match videos only because I'm like trying to learn. I enjoy watching, how am I forgetting the French dude?
Eric Gruffel.
Eric Gruffel. I randomly forgot his name. I enjoy watching Eric Graffel videos. Your average USPSA guy, like, no. I'm more interested in watching like my friends who are up and coming. You know, I like watching their videos, but for the most part, our sport is. If you've never seen it, it's exciting for a little while, and then it gets really boring really fast.
I show my coworkers videos, like my POV video. He's like, "Man, you're doing Call of Duty in person." I'm like, "All right."
First person video is far more engaging than third person video.
Correct.
Way more engaging. And if this championships idea of mine ever happens, everybody should be required to wear a hat cam that's live streamed. But it's, you know, there's a whole bunch of things to be worked out. I think it would be cool. I would like to have just the best of the best in a match, which would go against currently that's not allowed, but so this would have to be something passed by the board where, yes, this one match would an invitation, because all matches are open to everybody, you know.
Yep.
As the rule, I don't know if it's the rules or the bylaws. I think it's the rules in the rule book.
Yeah. I think it's you must be. I think all matches are open to the public. You must be a member to be a level to shoot level 2 and level 3 matches. Is like I think how the rule goes.
Yeah, we did with all those locals that were randomly signing up for Area 3. I did. This is a big, huge suggestion to anybody running a level 2 or 3. Make the member number required on Practice Score.
Yes.
A required number. Now they can just type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and still get in, but at least it slows them down, because we actually had we had a guy at Area 3. He signed up. He never had a USPSA membership, and he DQ'd before he ever shot a stage.
Oh no!
The poor guy. So just a suggestion there. Like, and the new Practice Score 2.0 is not as easy to find those people who don't have memberships. It used to be easier in the old version, especially on Apple or on iPads, but it got less easy to figure that all out.
Yes, Practice Score 2 fucked that up bad.
Really bad. It's a nightmare for match directors. It was not a big improvement. It was a complication, if anything, for major match directors.
Yep. There's a secret port I can tell you about that I use. It's not on Practice Score though. It's tangentially with Practice Score. So,
okay. Is it a secret, or
I don't know if it's open public knowledge, but it's very handy.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else spicy you want to say about USPSA? We talked about the outside the fault lines, which actually to me is not spicy. Like, the people who are bitching about that, I'm just kind of like, man, it's not going to drastically change the sport.
I guess one spicy thing I can say is for everyone who complains about not being able to shoot matches, or I can never get into a match, or my locals fill up all the time. Go find a match or find a range and go start a match. Don't be part of the problem. Go be part of the solution. More matches is better. The more the community that is shooting makes our life a little bit easier, fighting for our Second Amendment rights. So get more people exposed to the matches in the shooting sports, and things are going to be better. So quit being lazy, you fucks.
So, like, what shooting do you like? Were you a gun guy before USPSA? We may have had this conversation last time you were on, but
I mean, I got into like the concealed carry, TAC bro stuff at the very beginning, and then I listened to enough podcasts. I found out who Tim Herron was, and eventually I went down to the competition rabbit hole. Okay. I actually took a Tim Herron class ever before I started shooting matches.
Really?
Yep. And
so
I'm taller than Tim.
How far over your head was it?
Not very far. I mean, I was in the weeds on like absorbing the content. I was still, a mediocre C-class shooter when I took it, but
sure.
It was funny. I shot a local match with Tim last year because he has a class up here every year, and they came and like, hey, we don't want to set up a match just for our class. Can we just have a squad at your match? And I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely.
We're actually going to do that with Adam Grimm's coming to Canton. Oh, shit. I forgot to pimp that. Adam Grimm is coming to Canton April 25th through, if you're in the Sioux Falls area or nearby enough to drive there. Shit. I got to pull up Google Calendar. Fuck. I can't believe I forgot to add that to the list of things because I got all my local guys know about it. And if they didn't sign up, that's kind of on them. 24th and 25th. It's a Friday, Saturday, and then there will be a match at Sioux Falls Practical Shooters on the 26th, and we'll have a squad reserved for everybody in the class. So, if you go to Grimtech, I think it's Grimtech. Yeah, grimtech.com, and then select the South Dakota class. The LO national champion dude who didn't even shoot the sport 3 years ago is teaching a class at my club, and I'm excited to get a different perspective from, because it's so wild that he just started in 2023 and he fucking won a nationals in 2 years. Like, that has never happened. Can you think of anybody who even came close to that? Like
Joey Sauerland, but his division was like dead by that point.
Oh yeah, in limited.
Yeah,
there wasn't a hell of a lot of heat, but I remember hearing, God, where did I hear it? Oh, I think it was the Hit Factor guys were kind of, mostly because they were shitting on the belt, Hunter Constantine, like.
Oh yeah, monopoly. Using the sport for monetary gain, essentially.
Well,
or eyes.
Well, he's just smarter at marketing than most people are, and he did it in a way that actually got people to. He just took advantage of a rule change. That was like, I like their show, but like that was the funniest fud shit I ever heard.
Yeah, especially if it comes from the guy who builds 1911s, right?
And they're they're fucking younger than I am, and I'm like, God, you guys are old. I mean, and they mentioned how Adam didn't have to shoot against all the heat because a lot of the heat was shooting from concealment. Okay. Yeah, Jacob Hetherington was not shooting from a gamer holster. But that meant he gave up, let's say he gave up 0.2 on his draw to Adam on every stage. I don't think that was the biggest factor in the match. And most of the stage, I shot that match. Most of the stages, your draw didn't mean shit. So, I can't think of shit. There probably was a stage or two where you could shoot something immediately off the draw. Like if you have a fast draw, you could shoot something like in under a second. But it wasn't memorable enough for me to remember. And I pride myself on having a pretty damn quick draw, and I don't remember anything. So, but anyway, Adam Grimm. April 24th and 5th. Go to grimtech.com and sign up for that class, the South Dakota class, if you want to take it at my club in Canton, South Dakota, the same range where we hold the Great Plains section. Okay. We were talking about other guns you shoot. Like, do you own rifles?
Yeah, I own a couple 223s. I have a PCC that I won off prize tables. Yeah, when you build a PCC because, I want a receiver. Mm-hmm. It started with what was it? A comp? I think I wanted like a Coda Evolution comp.
You started a rifle because of a comp?
Yeah.
Or a PCC because of a comp? That's hilarious.
Yep. And I built it, and it shoots pretty good. And then I won the upper and lower from Da Vinci, and yeah, it's a nice rifle. No, I've got a couple. I've got a revolver. It's a Dan Wesson. It was one of those kit guns that you could swap the barrels out on, so you could go from like a 4-inch to a 6-inch to an 8-inch. Mine's got a scope on it for deer hunting.
Oh, fun! What caliber?
That's .357 Magnum.
Okay. How long is the deer barrel?
I think that's the 8. I think I have the 8-inch on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you definitely want a longer one for that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I got that one from after my uncle passed away. That one became in my collection. So,
do you hunt?
No.
Not that I haven't. To?
I went. He was the one I'd go hunting with. But I lost all the property that I was able to hunt on, disappeared. Family sold it off, and when people died, so
Yeah.
I lost places to hunt. Do I like venison?
And that's super tough out in Michigan, I know. Like,
yeah, and you're stuck shooting shotguns. You can't shoot rifles until you get higher up in the state, and yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there's kind of not a point to you owning a bolt gun at all, is there?
Not unless I wanted to go play at the rifle range. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, that's literally the only thing you could do with a bolt action rifle out there. That's a bummer. My state is like right on the border of states that have the shotgun law. Like Iowa and Minnesota, southern Minnesota is all shotgun. You get northern Minnesota, they allow rifles for deer, but all of Iowa is shotgun or straight walled cartridge only. You cross the border into my state, though. Like the eastern part of my state is pretty much the same as Iowa and Minnesota, especially the area where I live. And all of a sudden, yep, it's flat as a pancake. We're shooting 7mm Magnums, 300 Win Mags at deer. Fuck yeah. Like, there's no problem here. Now, some of the terrain is hilly and it's fine. I took my son hunting to a spot a little west and south of Sioux Falls, and it's really flat. And I was like, this is sketchy as hell, dude. So you can shoot here, and then he goes, and here, and I'm like, yes. He's only 12, but he gets it. Or no, he just turned 13. I'm an asshole. I forgot how old my son was. But no, he gets the safety aspects really, really well. But it's so much easier to go further west. I hate hunting near me. I love going much farther west in my state to go hunt west of the Missouri, where there's lots of hills and lots of space and very few people. It's fantastic. But, well, Manny, we went too long without having you on the show because you're, good at the podcasting thing, and we should have you on more often because sometimes we're just out of shit to talk about, and you'll just randomly find things for us to talk about as we're talking. So really appreciate you doing this. And you weren't supposed to fill in for Jeff when we scheduled this. It just sort of happened that way. But thanks for coming on and doing it.
No problem. If you want to have me, get a hold of me whenever you want. I'm always game to chat up someone else's ear.
Oh, so if I randomly message you on Instagram, because like the only contact I have for you is Instagram. So if I send you a message on Instagram and say, here's the link, get on fucking now. What are the odds? And now I would do it in the evening. What are the odds you'd be able to actually get on and do it?
Give me at least an hour's worth of time, probably.
Oh,
pretty
no,
good.
that's way too much. No.
Are you planning on Jeff being ready?
I did that to Robert Wyatt one time, and he was on immediately. So we got lucky because they pulled the same shit on me. Like, hey, can you be on the podcast? And I'm like, I'm in a fucking butcher shop trying to find tallow for my elk meat that just got thawed in my freezer that died. And I'm like, give me a half hour. I can do it. And so then I don't even remember why we did it. But all of a sudden I just said, fuck it, let's see if Robert can get on. And I sent him a message, and I sent him I didn't even, like, the link you got for Clean Feed. I just sent him that. And then I think I did actually send him a text and said, hey, get on. We just sent you the link. And boom, like 20 seconds later, he got on. He just happened to be sitting in his computer. It was fucking great. But anyway, make sure, everybody, you go check out Manny Talk Shooting, available wherever you get your podcasts. Probably more places than where I put mine, but I'm lazy and I didn't put it in all the places. I put it in the important ones. So that was all. What show most recently, we're going to wrap this up because you and I are talkers and this has gone really long. What's the show most recently you think is the most interesting one? The episode that people should go back and go, oh, yeah, you should go listen to that one.
Oh, of mine?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Don't fail me now, podcast app. Let me get. God, there's. Of
course, you have to go look because you don't remember who you even talked to recently.
Dude,
because
I mean, you don't even know either. Like,
we just finished the show. I don't remember what the fuck we talked about. Honestly,
exactly.
I'd have to go look at the rundown to remember what we talked about.
Oh, like probably some of the best ones, are. God, I've done over 200 episodes. I mean, I'm not no crazy guy like you guys who did 2 a week. But any of mine, like I think probably one of the best ones I've had, and this was a while ago. This was back in June. Probably my one I did with Charlie Perez was probably was one of my better ones. And because we were sitting right next to each other on my front fucking porch doing a podcast.
Oh, fun. But he's a name. Now, like, as I'm scrolling through your show, like, I don't recognize all the names of the people that you have on there. Okay. Of the for lack of a better term, I mean to throw no shade, but of the no-name guys, which of the names that are not super recognizable, which is the one to listen to?
Now you're making me think. Probably, honestly, that's a named person though. But if you guys haven't listened to my John Vlieger episode after he won Single Stack Nationals, it was a great episode. And but he's a named guy, way better than the guy who was right before him in that Jeff King episode. No, I like Jeff too though. God. And that's the problem is I talk to a bunch of people who are named, but you wouldn't necessarily know them though. Like, you know what I mean? Like you know their face, but you don't know, like, I don't know. Who was it? The Billy Harrington's episode. That was a good show too. But he's the Area 6 director.
Yeah.
So.
No, Billy's a good dude. I enjoy chatting with him. He's got a cool accent.
Everyone knows Ben Eggleston, you know.
We've never had him on.
Yeah, how? Like,
I don't know why. I just never thought to ask him.
Yeah,
which is really dumb. We mentioned him about every other episode too. That's really dumb. We should probably have Ben on. Of your podcast, though, definitely do not listen to episode 182.
Oh, was that your episode?
Yeah. You don't need to listen to that one.
Everyone needs to listen to that one.
Was it fun? I don't remember it. I remember doing it. I don't remember anything about it. But
yeah,
that was November of 24.
Yeah. Ooh, I guess a really good episode in November of 23 was Henning Wahlgren. Phenomenal person to listen to.
That would be oh shit. That's one I would have listened to. Because I'm very, with a lot of podcasts, I'm very picky. Like on your podcast, if I recognize the name, then I'll listen to it. And if it's a guy I've never heard of, I don't listen to it.
Hey, I don't blame you. That's why you don't come for me. You come for the guest, and that's purely what the show's about.
Yeah,
come for the guest.
Yeah, for sure. Not that you're bad at what you do on your podcast. I'm not saying that, but like, yeah,
I'm just the facilitator here.
Your guest
I'm
is
the facilitator. That's all.
We don't. We tell fart jokes basically as me and Jeff's shtick. We're the fart joke of the gun world. It's sort of the deal. Anyway, Manny, really appreciate it. And I didn't call you Alex once this episode. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, I did it right. All right. Anyway, for Jeff King, who is in Thailand doing God knows what, he's Manny. I almost told you. He is Alex Manny Mansfield. I am Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.